my gorgeous plant people? Welcome back to Reading Mindfully. My name is Yana, and today I am doing my April favorites. So let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So like I said, today I'm just going to talk about my April plant favorites. I wasn't sure if you guys really enjoyed these videos. If you do, make sure you comment it down below so that way I know you enjoy this video, and I will keep making them for you on a monthly basis or seasonal basis. It's up to you guys. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to talk about my current favorites. I tried to pick plants of different categories just so it's not like I'm just showing you all Philodendron or all Anthurium. I kind of wanted to make it interesting and plants that I actually really enjoy. And so the first plant that I'm enjoying right now is the Calathea rattlesnake. Now, this plant is just so interesting. This plant is, I don't know. I think if this plant was on a magazine cover, it'd be like GQ. Plant GQ. I think this plant is just so stunning. It has the most striking patterning on the leaves. It's complex but yet simple, and it's just enough to give you that wow factor. And I just really I can really appreciate the patterning on the leaves. I really like the dark, the dark green followed by this like black, peacock kind of pattern to it. And then not only does it have the patterning on the front, but then you turn around and it's got this dark maroon eggplant color on the back. And I just think this plant is just sort of a showstopper, and it's just such a wonderful plant. It did come to me with a lot of burning because it was in bright, if not direct lighting at the nursery when I got it. But it has been doing so wonderfully since it's come to my home, and it really hasn't given me a hard time. And I just love how the leaves just come out any sort of way, and it really gives the plant a lot of shape to it. So this is the first plant that is my favorite. The second plant is my little baby fibrosum. Now, if you guys have been following me for a while, I had a couple plant tours where this plant only had one leaf, if not it just had one bud. And finally, this plant is giving me some momentum. If you guys were with me in the beginning, it just had this one leaf for the longest time. And then out of nowhere, it put out these two leaves. And I can't remember if it's because what happened, but I think I had moved it to my northwest window, and it put out these two leaves. Well, then it put out this leaf, and I thought to give it a little bit of oomph, I would just put it outside just to see what would happen, and it put out this leaf. Now, this is the biggest leaf that I've gotten so far in this plant, and it has the thickest petiole as well, the chunkiest and the furriest petiole. And I just cannot get over these heffalump petioles, stems, whatever you want to call it. They're just so cool. Like, some people would be creeped out about furry petioles, but that is so cool. And you can see it's putting out another leaf there. So this plant is basically showing off now, and I'm really just loving how it is turning out. It's definitely one of my top plants of all time. Like I said, I just love the heffalump petioles that I'm getting, and the more light that it's getting, the thicker the petioles are and the hairier they're getting. So this plant is definitely interesting, and I just love it. The next plant is my old faithful. It is my bird's nest fern. Oh, you guys are gonna be sick of this plant. You guys are gonna be sick of seeing this plant, but seriously, it is like my favorite plant of all time. Just look at, look at that. That is so pretty. This, how shiny the fronds are coming out. They're wavy and crispy and just so broad. And I'm telling you, this is one of the easier ferns that you can have in your collection. If you are not a good fern parent, try a bird's nest fern. They're so much easier than like the asparagus fern, the Ming fern, like all those more dainty ferns. These are a lot better. These will handle more overwatering and underwatering. They're a lot more forgiving, and they are just so beautiful. I cannot wait till mine gets a whole lot bigger, because I've seen when they get huge and they are just so gorgeous. But I really enjoy this plant. I don't really have to do a lot to it, just to make sure that it stays moist, and it really just takes care of itself. The only thing I really have to do is just make sure that I'm repotting it, because it does grow quickly out of the bottom of the pot. But you can see it is a pretty sizable plant, so this is gonna be my favorite for a long time, and you guys are gonna be so sick of seeing me mention it, but it'll always be one of my favorites. Not to mention that like that plant is always a pretty good price as well. You can usually get them for like $20, if not less. So for it to be a nice, cheap favorite plant, yeah. My next favorite is actually my moonshine, my Sansevieria moonshine. I got this from Bros with Hose, and I unboxed it in a video that you guys saw on my channel. And this plant is just growing really fast. I'm pretty sure these babies have gotten a lot bigger. But look at all the pups on this plant. I love it because it's a nice full plant. You guys know I like full plants. I don't like small plants, because when I first got this plant, I only had this little tiny portion here, and that cost me as much as all of this second order was. So when you look for these plants, just make sure that you wait until you can get a full one, because it's not worth it just to get a tiny piece, because we all know Sansevierias grow a lot slower, especially if you're not giving them a lot of light. But this one, I feel like this one's growing really fast. It's got this pup, so 1, 2, 3, and I feel like they're getting so big. It's got 4 and 5, so it's got 5 pups on here, and then the mother. So this one had a lot of pups, and it is just such a nice plant. I love the moonshine. I feel like the moonshine does not get a lot of attention. I feel like snake plants don't get a lot of attention because they don't really do too much, but they are gorgeous plants. And if you do give them a lot of light, or a lot more light than people usually do, they will grow. So that is my next one. And in the spirit of shaking things up, my last plant is going to be a Syngonium. And this is my Syngonium army, mojito, whatever you want to call it. This is what it looks like. It's such a gorgeous plant. Now, I had originally got this plant from Steve's Leaves, and it was growing huge. I mean, it was enormous. And then it got attacked by thrips, and it just declined. I mean, declined. And I had just so happened to take some cuttings of this plant, and I was so happy that I did, because I lost the original plant and I barely got this one to grow back. But slowly but surely I'm getting it to grow back, and it is just looking so beautiful. I love how the leaves come out. Some of them are just like regular leaves, like a regular shaped Syngonium leaf, and then others come out like bumpy and textured. So I really like the ones that come out bumpy and textured, because they're just really cool. Like this one, it's like really bumpy and textured. This one here that's coming out is going to be like that, and I'm so excited. I think it's because I'm giving it more light now. I am starting to get some of my lower light plants more light, which I think they're really appreciating, especially with how my other plants will be going outside soon. So my lower light plants are really appreciating the extra light, and they are thanking me for it. And yeah, this is just a really pretty plant. I love how the patterns are different on every leaf. You never know what kind of leaf you're getting. Especially, this is very similar to how the albo Syngonium is. If you guys check out my Instagram, I have a story on that one as well. But it's just such a beautiful plant, and this one makes me really happy. So that's the last plant that is currently my favorite. And now I was going to include some of my anthuriums, but I think my anthuriums deserve their own video because honestly, they were getting on my nerves. And when plants get on my nerves, I put their behinds outside. So I put my anthuriums outside, and some of them have given me really, like, some of them have given me really good results. So I think I should make another separate video about that, like maybe call it plants, I don't know. But anyway, let me know if you guys want to see a video on that, just like the plants I kicked outside temporarily. Kind of like timeout, but not really. But yeah, and I can show you those plants and how they're looking now. Also, again, let me know if you guys want to see any more of these favorites. Trying to, change things up and show different plants in my collection. I don't want to just keep showing the same plants because that, it gets boring. So anyways, I just want to thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Comment down below what are your favorite plants for the month or the year, season, or however you categorize them. I am very interested as always, and as always, I want to just say that you guys mean the most to me, and I'm so happy that you are enjoying my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.